Now before we sheet this end wall with these garage door openings, we're going to trim the framed openings. So what we've done is first we installed the cover trim on the door jamb, and we've installed the corner or the cover trim on the door header. And once those are installed, we come in, we install the what we call drip trim, or basically a framed opening gutter. And then we install the J trim. And the J trim is notched so that it slides back behind the drip trim. This one's not completely installed because there's no pop rivets up there. We'll come back and put more pop rivets in. On the jamb, you want to put in a pop rivet about every foot, 16 inches, something like that. It's not necessary to hold the jamb trim on, but when you bring your panel in on the high rib, if it's really tight, more of a problem with insulated buildings, but we do it anyways on non-insulated buildings. The wall panel, if you're pushing a high rib in there, which is what you're supposed to do, can pull on this like out, and you'll wind up with a gap between these like that, and that's not good. So more pop rivets, more better. And you can put mastic between or behind the jamb trim. We don't. It pops it out, and we'll come in and put a bead of silicone in any gaps that we have. This building's not going to need it. It's so tight. Maybe a little bit down here where that's coming out. That's just part of the deal. But mastic really seems to aggravate that, or make that look not quite as clean. On the cover trim, you're going to have to trim them, and you can see that we've trimmed the web of the cover trim so that you get that nice little overlap. Don't put a pop rivet up there until everything's installed. Well, you can put a pop rivet on this side, but you don't want to put a pop rivet on the other side because you got to slide the other trim up. And that pop rivet can jam and can cause that piece of J trim not to slide up. And Seth has trimmed this J trim over here. I'll show you what that looks like. Oh, he's already got a pop rivet in up there. We'll go see what he's doing over there. So he's made his measurement. And one trick when you're cutting this, you want to make sure that you're cutting the right side because it faces left or right, even though the trim's the same. When you measure, you want to measure up here, and then what I like to do is actually put a slight angle to the outside of the building on this cut here, and then cut the other side straight. The reason we do that, or the reason I like to do that, is this drip trim up here is slightly angled out.
You can see at the top where I put
If you cut that at a 2 or 3 degree angle, it fits a little bit nicer, and you don't push the outside of the drip edge up.